My name's Ray Dalton. Been driving rigs across this country for near 30 years now. Long enough to know every trick the road likes to play on a man. The way it hums when you're alone at 3 a.m. The way the fog rolls in like ghosts looking for a ride. You learn quick out here. Not every sound's just wind, and not every light on the horizon belongs to a car. I've hauled cattle, fuel, construction steel, even circus animals once. But the run that burned itself into my memory, that was the winter night I picked up a signal I shouldn't have. A transmission from a place that don't exist on any modern map. That night taught me something the road always tries to tell us. Some loads don't want to be delivered. It was early December. I'd been hauling refrigeration units out of Reno, Nevada, down toward Flagstaff, Arizona. It was supposed to be an easy 2-day run. Cold, but clear skies. But anyone who's ever driven through those mountain passes knows how quick the weather turns on you. By midnight, the snow was coming down heavy. Fat, wet flakes that hit the windshield like white noise. My wipers squealed with every swipe, barely keeping up. I had the CB radio on Channel 19, like always. Trucker chatter, weather warnings, the usual road banter. Some guy out of Colorado talking about a jackknife near Carson City, another warning about black ice near Tonopah. Then, through the static, I heard it, breaker 19. Anyone copy? We're pinned. Mile marker 87. Requesting backup. The voice was sharp, panicked but trained, like someone used to command under pressure. Now here's the thing. On that stretch of highway, there ain't a mile marker 87. The numbers jump from 72 straight to 96. So I grab my mic. Breaker 19. This is Delta Ray. Copy your last. Repeat location. Static. Then silence. I waited, listened. Thought maybe it was interference. But 10 seconds later, the voice came again. Same words, same panic. Mile marker 87. We're pinned. Requesting backup. Then, click. Gone. Something about that voice wouldn't let go of me. Didn't sound like no trucker. Sounded military. Controlled fear. And the strangest part? It sounded close. Like the transmission was right next to my rig. Curiosity'll kill a man faster than whiskey. But that night, it wasn't curiosity. It was instinct. See, I used to be Army before I ever held a steering wheel this big. You hear a call for help like that, you don't ignore it. So I pulled off the main highway onto a narrow mountain road. Snow half melted, ice glistening under the moonlight. My tires crunched the gravel as I eased into the forest. Every turn got tighter. The radio kept hissing. Faint bursts of static, like the ghost of that voice trying to break through. 10 miles in, I saw something through the trees. A flicker of red light, pulsing slow. Like a heartbeat. It was an old radio relay tower, half collapsed, leaning against the mountain slope. Looked like it hadn't been used in decades. But that light, it was blinking steady. I parked the rig, stepped out into the cold, and the air hit me like glass. No wind, no sound, just snow and silence. Then I saw it. Tire tracks, cutting through the slush ahead. Fresh ones, maybe an hour old. I followed them around the bend. That's when I found it. A truck, military style, unmarked, matte black, jackknifed into a ditch. Cab crushed, trailer split open like a tin can. The weirdest part? The truck wasn't old, wasn't rusted, looked brand new. But there were no footprints, no bodies, and the driver's door wide open. I climbed up the embankment, flashlight cutting through the snow haze. Inside the cab, everything looked normal. Clean dashboard, a half-finished cup of coffee still steaming, like whoever sat there just stepped out a few minutes ago. But the radio, that old military-grade transceiver, it was still running, the screen flickering faint green. I leaned closer. Static hissed. Then a whisper cut through. "You shouldn't have come, Ray." My heart jumped. It said my name. I froze, every hair on my neck standing straight up. The air suddenly felt heavy, humming with a low electric charge. My flashlight dimmed for a moment. Then, a sound behind me. Footsteps. Slow, crunching snow. I turned fast, beams slicing across the trees. And I swear to God, I saw them. Figures. Not soldiers, not people. Tall shadows moving with a strange, slow rhythm. Their shapes flickered, like static taking human form. They didn't walk. They shifted, and the radio crackled again. "Turn around, driver! Turn around!" The flashlight sputtered out. Everything went black, and from somewhere close, a whisper brushed my ear. Like breath, "You're not the first one to answer." I bolted back toward my rig, boots sliding on ice. I could hear my own breath echoing in the cab as I slammed the door and locked it tight. Turned the key. Engine dead. Dashboard flickering. Then, the red light from the tower started blinking faster. Not steady anymore. Erratic. Flashing in a sequence. Long, short, short. Long, short, short. It hit me. Morse code. RELAY. Over and over again. And then, the radio in my truck lit up. But it wasn't my CB anymore. It was the same military transmission, looping. Mile marker 87. Pinned down. Requesting backup. But this time, under it. Faint, buried in the static. I could hear other voices. Screams. Orders. Gunfire. The sound of men dying. It wasn't a call for help anymore. It was a replay, a recording echoing through that tower, stuck in time. And then, in the glare of my headlights, I saw movement. A figure standing in the middle of the road, wearing a tattered military coat, face pale and cracked with frost. He raised a hand. The same hand I'd seen through my windshield. Shaking, trembling, before the voice came through again. "We never made it out." I don't remember turning the key. I don't remember shifting gears. All I know is the engine roared like a beast, and I floored it. The road twisted through the mountains, snow flying past like ash. In my mirrors, the red light blinked faster and faster, until it vanished behind the ridgeline. By the time I hit open highway again, dawn had started to break. The radio was quiet, dead. No static, no voices. I drove until the fuel gauge hit empty, pulled into a truck stop near Page, Arizona. When I stepped inside, the guy behind the counter looked at me like I was a ghost. "Buddy, you look like hell," he said. I told him what happened. The tower, the wreck, the signal. He frowned, shaking his head slow. "Saw that road on a map once," he said. "Closed down years ago after a military convoy went missing in a blizzard. They said the radio tower collapsed that night. Nobody found the bodies." I stared down at my coffee, hands trembling. Then who the hell was talking to me? He didn't answer, just walked off, muttering something about how the mountains remember what we forget. It's been 2 years since that night. I still drive the same routes, still run the same highways, but every so often, on cold nights when the static starts crawling back into the radio, I swear I hear that voice again, faint, buried deep. Breaker 19. And I turn the dial off every single time. Because now I know. Not every call for help comes from the living. Some relays were never meant to end. And that was the mountain relay. If you ever hear a voice on the radio that ain't supposed to be there, maybe just keep driving. Some runs end where they're supposed to. And some, they just loop forever. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Tell me, if you heard that call for help, would you have answered it? Until next time, this is Ray Dalton. Keep your eyes on the road, your mind clear, and your radio off after midnight.